They move it to Miller. JT Miller with a slap pass. Rebound off the outside and they score! It's Brock Lesnar.
DK Metcalf, he's got it. Touchdown! Seahawks!
Launches one. Deep left field and gone.
Curry slammed on the brakes. Oh my goodness! Curry!
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Live for Sports. My name is Nathan, joined once again by my co-host, Mr. Joseph Augusti. Joseph, how we doing?
Great. I'm eating McDonald's, so how much worse could it possibly, or how much better could it possibly be?
Patty.
Hey, Nathan, I am 1,000 times stronger than you.
I don't know about that math.
Mentally.
Okay, sure. Maybe. Anyways, we got a jam-packed episode. We're recording late because Joseph had to work the past 2 days and didn't tell me until day of, or
I know.
night of, or something. Or
My brain sometimes doesn't work, but
Yeah.
sometimes it does.
So this will be out on a Saturday instead of a Thursday, but we got a big episode to get through. We got the Metro Division we're previewing today in the NHL. I don't think we're touching on anything else in that. We'll touch on week three, sorry, of the recap it a little bit. / go into Thursday Night Football since we now watched that last night, I guess. And we'll have a Brett Favre discussion and talk about his case because something came up if you didn't hear. In the MLB, we're talking about Shohei and his 50-50 season because it's insane. And we'll have a list with that. I'll leave it till then. And then Oakland, we're going to talk about and their goodbye because screw you. It's John Fisher is his name, right? Pretty sure.
Yeah, that's his name.
Yeah. And then in the NBA, Vince Carter is retiring with the Raptors, or getting his number retired. He's also retiring with Brooklyn, but he'll get his number retired on was it the 2nd or the 4th? Did I see?
I think it's the 2nd.
One of those two, I'm pretty sure. And then Derrick Rose retired, and we'll talk about that. So, a lot to get through. I don't really want to be here too long. It will not be 2.5 hours like last episode. I can promise you that. Let's start in the Metro, though. Joseph, you get the honors if you're not scarfing down food already.
I'm just about ready. I'm going to turn my camera off. You know, the billions and billions of listeners don't need to see my 195-pound ass gets 197 pounds tonight. But yes, Metropolitan Division, one of my favorite divisions. Fun to watch, if I do say so myself. But
it's
yeah,
so mid.
Not a lot of fun teams. But yeah, I'll keep number 8 short and sweet. Columbus. We know what happened with Johnny Gaudreau's and his brother Matthew's tragic passing. I don't know how the season's going to go for them on the ice. It's going to be tough. Winning, they probably weren't going to be that good anyway. And now it's worse, right? Because they don't have their best player, which obviously hockey is secondary and all that, but there's just not a lot of talent on the team. And mentally, it's going to be a really hard season for them. So I have them in 8th.
Yeah, I got same logic there. On the other hand, like, is it possible that they just like all rally together and somehow go on some like miracle season?
No.
And like make the playoffs? I don't. I'm not saying it's going to happen. Like, I think the odds of that are like 10%. But I kind of lean more they're going to suck. They already were probably going to suck. You get this tragedy that happens. You take away your best player. And everyone talks like so highly of him as a teammate and friend, and going to be tough to recover from. Probably won't recover from it for this season at least. And the roster is just not there enough. The forwards are still young. The defense, mid at best. And their goaltending is probably one of the worst in the league, I would say. So, 8th place. Probably tanking for probably a top 3 pick this year, I would think. If I'm thinking off the top of my head.
Yeah, probably in the James Higgins sweepstakes. But yeah, to your point, if they could rally around and go on a run in his memory, maybe if it was another team with another players, but even with him, they were probably best case scenario 6th or 7th place.
I
right?
think, yeah.
There's just not. It's just they don't have the personnel for it, sadly.
Number 7. So this is where this is where the division probably like starts, or the difference, I would think.
Yeah. So I'm going to say Philadelphia. Want a bold prediction here, Nathan?
Okay.
This is the year John Tortorella's famous shelf life kicks in. And the players get tired of his bullshit and he's fired midseason. There was some division last year at the end of the season. Remember, he scratched Atkinson and captain. Well, I'm getting there.
Yeah,
But
Couturier is the main one, though.
He scratched Atkinson when he was there, and he scratched Couturier, the captain. That scratching, making it public humiliation of the captain usually doesn't go over well on teams. And he's been there. I think this will be at least his 3rd season there, maybe his 4th. Tortorella, we all know what Tortorella is. He's a hard ass. He does things his own way or the highway. And he's a good coach. He's a good strategist. But eventually it wears thin. Players get sick of it, right? And now there's some expectations around the team. They have Mishkov. Looks like they might have figured out their goaltending with Samuel Ersson and Ivan Fedotov. They got some good pieces. But my prediction for them is they're going to struggle at the beginning, and Tortorella is gone by midseason. Because I don't think Daniel Briere hired him, if I'm not mistaken. I think it was Chuck Fletcher.
I can't fact check, like think of that off the top of my head.
I'm right. I'm definitely right.
I'm also agreeing Flyers in 7th. I just like their roster is just so uninspiring to me. Like it's really just not there. Their goaltending situation is pretty bland in my opinion. There should be excitement though. Michkov is finally here. A year earlier than expected. My only worry is he going to get the Tortorella treatment and be like in the doghouse at times in the year? Like that's what I worry. And I see
he definitely will be at one point.
And I see people hyping up like a Calder season, and it's like, man, I just can't see it like around the talent that they have and up front. And maybe if he plays with Konechny, then sure. But like just like they don't really have a center for him right now at the moment, I would say. Unless you consider like Morgan Frost a number 1 center, which I probably don't.
No, him or like, and Farabee's a winger if I'm not mistaken. So they don't really have any big centers coming up.
Forrester, maybe?
No, he's a winger.
Yeah. So pretty bland. Although I will say I did see a Torts quote from like a press conference or something, and he was like, or I don't know if it was a press conference, maybe it's just a report, but Torts is being like, I don't actually care about Michkov being that good defensively. Like I'm actually okay with him going out and doing his thing because he's just that special of a player.
That'll last about 10 games.
Maybe. Yeah, we'll see. So 7th place. Probably gonna sleep on them because they were supposed to be shit last year and they weren't. So 7th.
Okay, I'll accept that. 6th place, I have the Washington Capitals. Why might you ask? Because I believe, just like Bruce Wayne believes in Harvey Dent, I believe in the Pittsburgh Penguins. And we all know that how that worked out for Earl Harvey. So I expect Washington to be bad for a few reasons. One, because Charlie Lindgren, in my opinion, is a one-hit wonder. He had a really nice stretch at the end of the year, but he has no proven track record, and I expect him to crater. Number 2, everyone is old. Ovechkin had his great second half, good for him, but he looked like sardines in a can for the first half of the year. I think he had like 8 goals in his first 40 games. That ain't very good. And he'll break the record either this year or next. He's going to play till he breaks it. We know that. I think he needs 42 goals to get there. We'll see how it goes. I give him 50-50 on whether or not he gets it this year. And the third and final reason is, well, actually not. I'm going to do 3, and then the 4th reason is going to be the big reason. Third reason is I watched Jacob Chikrin for a few years. He's pretty shit. He's really overrated. He benefited by being on a crap Arizona team that allowed him to freewheel and do all his offensive crap. He was exposed in Ottawa. Terrible defensively. And the 4th reason is Pierre-Luc Dubois has ran his way out of now 3 organizations. He's a cancer. He has a poor attitude. He's lazy, and he doesn't try. This is going to be more of the same for him in Washington, right? Because Los Angeles was done with him after 1 season. I can't even remember the last time that's happened where someone signs a long-term deal and they're gone in 1 year. That's pretty crazy. I think the closest comparable was like Ilya Kovalchuk in New Jersey, where he was like 3 years into like a 15-year deal or something like that. But yeah, I expect him to be mediocre and pout his way, and then they're probably going to have to buy him out in a couple of years. So sixth place for Washington. Their window's shut. Everyone knows that. On to you, Maley.
I'm going with Pittsburgh here. I'm not. Well, I believed it last year that they were going to still be good, and they just weren't. I don't know. Sid's still great. I think losing Gensel is going to be really big for them. For a full year. Bunting came in and looked like solid, but he's not Gensel. Everyone knows that. Malkin looks like he's slowing down. They brought in Kevin Hayes, I believe, for future considerations with a second round pick. They got two. Kevin Hayes kind of washed up now. Third line center, I can understand it, but their forward group just uninspires me at this point. In terms of defense, Letang's really starting to get up there in age. It's kind of noticeable. Carlson had a major regression last year, I thought. Well, major regression offensively, I'll say. His defense actually did improve. Is it gonna I expect it kind of like to level out maybe. Like the offense is gonna take another step again this year, but the defense is gonna drop back down a little bit because Carlson's, we both know he's just not a good defender. He really only cares about offense, which I mean, if you're scoring 100 points a year, sure, that works. But kind of got to be good. Sorry, my ankle is really itchy right now. And then in terms of goaltending, Tristan Jarry is pretty overrated in my opinion. I'm not much of a Jarry believer anymore. I was, and now it's not there. They have, I think Nedeljkovic is their backup. I'm interested to see if Rucker McGroarty makes the team. I think he will. They kind of need a young guy up front. Maybe he can be like big body, go hit people. Although they do have Bunting for that if needed. So, I don't know. Just not really a believer. Sixth place.
Okay, that's pretty fair. That's pretty fair. Sorry, I'm just getting my camera back going. And yeah, Pittsburgh, I'm not delusional. I know they're nothing special of a team this year, but I think now that Crosby's extended and a full season of Michael Bunting, who looked really good there when he arrived, I think I see your points, but I don't know.
Who was
Maybe one
Bunting
more year.
playing with when at the end of last year? Was it Crosby or was it
Malkin.
Malkin?
It was
Yeah,
Malkin.
I figured it would be Malkin. So they had like what? Rust with Crosby, and was it like Drew O'Connor?
Yeah, that's who
Yeah.
it was.
I love how
Weird.
Crosby just gets the worst wingers and he just turns them into good players. It's
Hey,
hilarious.
don't you dare say that about my Chris Kunitz, my Pascal Dupuis, my Ricard Raquel.
Ricardo Carlos was like a Malkin player. He always played in Malkin, I thought.
Something like that.
All right, number
Okay,
5.
so number 5. It's kind of tough to be honest.
And also I forget your last rankings, so I don't know if you had 5 in the Atlantic or 4 and 4, but
Oh well,
your computer just cut out. Oh my god. We have lost Joseph. I will be back. All right, back after technical difficulties. Joseph's laptop died on him, even though apparently it was plugged in. It wasn't, but
yeah. This is just crazy, Nathan. What a day. What a
all right.
day indeed.
I was asking you right before you left. Did you have 4 and 4, or was it 5 and 3 on one side, or?
I'm trying to remember. I just have my Atlantic Division cheat sheet up, or not Atlantic Division, my Metropolitan Division cheat sheet up here. I want to say I had it split.
I think you did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can wind back the tapes and find out for sure, but I'm 99.9% sure I had it split.
Okay. So this 5th spot will
That
miss
means
playoffs.
4 and 4. Yes, that is a fact. That is a factoid. I'm kind of split here, Nathan, as I look over my daily face-off projected lineups, which is just a great tool. One of the 3 things Frank Saravelli does well. Everything else he's shit at. But yeah, ready for some controversy, Mr. Maley?
Oh no, I don't know if I like this.
I have the New York Islanders in 5th place.
Okay, that's not that much controversy.
I think it is. That means I have the Penguins making the playoffs.
Okay, that I guess fair. Yep. Okay.
I'm looking at their depth chart here, Nathan. Okay, their first line, Horvat, Barzal, and Duclair. That's pretty good. I like Brock Nelson. Kyle Palmieri's underrated. But then you get to the third line. Okay, Anders Lee's pretty good. I know JG Pageau pretty well. He's ain't what he used to be. And Pierre Engvall's overpaid.
Can I
And
cut
this
you
is
off? Can I cut you off really quickly? We have some
what?
breaking news. The
What?
Chicago White Sox are officially the worst team in MLB history.
That's pretty
They
funny.
have lost their 121st game.
Good. Screw him.
And
Isn't that
wait,
crazy
that
that a big
means
market team is that bad?
that also means the Tigers are in the playoffs
So
because they're
that's it
playing
for
each
the
other.
Twins then, right?
Nope, because the Royals still have to play. If they're winning right now, I don't know. They're down
They
2
were losing.
nothing.
They were
They're
down
down 2-0 in the
to the
top of the league
Orioles.
to the
Okay.
Braves. They're playing the Braves, and then the Twins are down 2-0 to the
Yeah, to
Orioles.
the
So
Orioles. That's what yeah.
the
Okay.
magic number is 1, so it doesn't. Yeah,
Isn't it crazy how Jerry Reinsdorf can be such a good owner of the Bulls at times and then just horrendous for the White Sox?
Yeah.
Like crazy. Anyway, back to the point. I'm looking at this fourth line here for the Islanders. I think it's the worst line I've seen in my entire life. They have this guy on left wing, Maxim Tizplakov, who I've never heard of, Casey Cizikas, who's been washed for at least 6 years, and Kyle McLean, who I only know because he scored against Ottawa a couple times last year. That's bad. And then their defense, Romanov, I've always felt he's overrated. They got Pelican, Pulak, and Dobson, and they're good. But their third pairing's Mike Riley and Scott Mayfield. That's pretty weak, Nathan. And we know Sorokin wasn't very good last year. So is that a trend? Maybe. Maybe. And I'm long past relying on Semyon Varlamov for anything more than stretches. So, and they also had the coaching bump of Patrick Waugh last year, right? So is that going to carry over? I do not think so. So I have them in 5th place and out of the playoffs. Sorry, Horvat. I'm sure you'd like to be back in Vancouver now, but the time has passed. Isn't it funny how everyone whined and complained about trading him at the time and signing Miller? And now it's just objectively the right choice.
yeah, it was. I said trade both because I just didn't think they were close enough. Either way, signing one and trading one. I thought trade both and then try and push there, but because I didn't want to sign a 28, 29-year-old to an 8-year deal, which they ended up doing. Besides, Miller got 7, I think, right?
8.
Did
Oh
he
no,
get
7
8?
years. Yeah, 7 years, 8 million.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say to Plakov, I think is how you say it. Maybe I'm wrong on this. To Plakov, he's actually decently touted, I want to say.
He's like 26, and he had like middling numbers in the KHL.
Is he? Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
he's not a prospect. He's a free agent.
Maybe I'm getting him mixed up with someone then.
Maybe he's the next Kuzmenko.
Maybe. Maybe I'm missing.
Or he's the next Nikita Gusev.
Do they have an extras list? We're in the system? No. Okay. Maybe I'm thinking of someone else. My 5th spot, I'm going with Washington to miss the playoffs. I actually like their additions. I don't know. I think Dubois can turn it around. I think Dubois will play center this year because keep in mind, he was playing wing for most of the year with LA. It just didn't work as him as a winger. I think him playing center will be better for him because I think he thinks he's a center. And I'll probably want to try more if he's a center. Then you get to Mangiapane, decent pickup. I think it costs him a 2nd. I think he's signed for this year only, so we'll see. Then you go to Chikrin. I don't know. You say Chikrin's overrated. I think Chikrin is what he is. I don't think he's really overrated. I think he's like a solid top 4 defender. I think that's fair to say. I don't think he's like a number 2 guy. I'd say like he's a 3-4 in my opinion. In net, Charlie Lindgren. Yeah, it's probably a one-hit wonder, but they did pick up Logan Thompson, which I actually really like that pickup because he's making like what, $900K for this year or whatever, and he's 25. Like, I don't know. It'll be one weird dynamic is like too. It's so weird to see right-handed catching goalies, and now they have both of them. I think there's only 2 of them right now in the league, if I'm not mistaken, unless I'm missing.
Askarov.
Is he other-handed? Oh yeah,
he's
is.
right-handed. Yeah.
Huh.
And I think Spencer Martin right-handed?
No, he wasn't.
Catching?
No, he wasn't.
Hmm.
I'm 100% sure on that one.
There's someone in Columbus that is. It might be Tarasov or Merzlikins.
Not Merzlikins, I know that. So it might be Tarasov, but they're rare nonetheless, and they have 2 of them.
Yeah.
They better have they better have Jonas Hiller as their goalie coach or something.
Maybe they should play defense.
What do you mean?
Because they need right shot. Everyone needs right shot defenseman.
And the Capitals picked up someone else this offseason too, I'm pretty sure. Am I missing?
Well,
Was it
good for
Wah?
you. Good thing, Nathan. I have a depth chart of them up right now. Sonny
On
Milano, now he was already there.
on defense, I think
Are you thinking Matt Roy?
that's who I'm thinking.
He's pretty good.
Decent pickup. I like that one.
They got a lot of positives. It's just their depth is ghastly.
Yes.
Like
I agree.
Hendricks Lapierre, I know he's a highly touted prospect, but I don't think he's ready to be a third line center. Brandon Duhaime, probably the most forgettable player in the league. Canuck legend Nick Dowd, he's defense only. And Taylor Radish, I haven't even thought of since like the 2017 World Juniors. Like their depth is terrible. And we all love Ovechkin, although I've never been an Ovechkin guy. Like they're not in the business to win cups here,
No,
right?
I think that
we're
what
all in
they're doing
agreement.
is they're trying to be a playoff team and keep a competitive team around for Ovi until he breaks a record.
Yeah,
And that's
last year
fair.
I think was
And
the
then after
like
he's gone, you blow it up and start your
yeah,
rebuild.
like it was weird to watch him in the playoffs. Like I don't want to say Ovechkin wasn't trying because that's obviously not true, but his main motivation for playing wasn't there because playoff goals don't count toward the all-time record.
Mhm.
So it was kind of odd for me.
Um, but yeah, I think they're due for a little, like, despite all the additions, I think they're due for regression a little bit because keep in mind they were a negative, 30 goal differential team last year and
Yeah,
made
it
the
was
playoffs.
insane.
Um, so I think they could even be like hovering back closer to like 500 this year, but I still don't think they're going to get in the playoffs. I think they were, what was it? Because they were all their losses, they were losing by so much, but all their wins, they were winning by like 1 goal or 2 goals or whatever. I think that's the reason why it was so bad. But
Yeah.
anyway, they just missed. Well, do they just miss? Yeah, they just missed the playoffs for me.
Okay. Cool. So fourth place and probably the second wild card spot, if I'm not mistaken. I have Pittsburgh. I'm expecting a bounce back. I know Eric Carlson is better than what he showed last year. Because remember, if you wind back the old memory, he wasn't very good in his first season in San Jose either. And
No,
you
it
might go,
wasn't.
oh, well, San Jose's been shit for so long. They were pretty good when he first got there. They had a couple of good years when he was
Weren't
there.
they coming off a cup appearance that year, or is
No,
that the
no.
another
You're
year?
way off. That was 2016. This was 2019 he
Oh,
arrived, or 2018-19 he arrived. That was the year they made the conference finals.
right. Okay. Yep.
Yeah. So I expect him to bounce back. They signed Matt Grzelcyk, who's decent. Ryan Graves can't possibly be any worse than he was last year. And, they still got Crosby. They still got Malkin. I've always been a big Brian Rust fan. Michael Bunting looked excellent with him when he was there. He looked like he had a new lease on life. Rickard Rakell's pretty good. I'm watching out for Cody Glass to be a sleeper pick. And Drew O'Connor is useful. We'll see if McGroarty makes the team. Daily Faceoff doesn't have him making the team. I'd consider it because they have Anthony Beauvillier on the first line, and I can tell you right now that's not going to work. But you never know because Crosby's made chicken soup out of chicken shat for many years, so you don't know. Oh, and also Nathan, I'm reading here.
Okay.
This is a big signing that's gone under the radar. They brought in a superstar over the summer.
Oh no.
They signed Sebastian Aho.
Oh, so funny, man.
Do
You're a
you get
real
the reference?
jokester.
I hope you understand the
Oh,
reference.
for those who don't, it's Sebastian Aho, the defenseman, who's like
The Swedish one.
like a seventh defenseman.
Hey, they got
No
him on third
relation to
pair.
the other
Third
Aho.
pair with Marcus Pettersson. Although I hope they don't play Pettersson on third pair because he's actually pretty good.
No, I thought he was playing like with Letang or Malkin or
He was
Letang
playing
or
with Carlson and he was actually good. It was the Letang pairing that killed them last year. Letang looked terrible.
Was it? I thought Daily Faceoff had their combinations of like.
I have it right here, Nathan.
Okay,
It's
what?
it's Grzelcyk, Letang, Graves, Carlson, Pettersson, Aho.
Okay, so they flipped Pedersen and Grzelcyk because I thought it was Grzelcyk playing third pair.
I
Before.
can't imagine Pettersson plays third pair. He was their best defenseman last year.
Hey, let him play third pair. Let him like act like he's shit, and then he gets a nice
Trade to
cheaper
Edmonton.
discount to Vancouver.
Oh yeah, cool.
Vancouver
Well,
Pittsburgh connection, dude. It's gonna happen.
even though Crosby signed his 2-year deal at 8.7 million, what a guy! I love that man. He's so cool. I wish I was Crosby, but he's this is it because that was a 2-year deal. That was let's end my career in Pittsburgh. Let's have my legacy like Lemieux, a one club man, as they say in European soccer. This is their last year where they can hope to contend because they outside of McGroarty, they got no real prospects. Everyone's old. They don't even really have any mid-tier, like they don't even have any like 27-year-olds who are very good, like Gensel was. Gensel was the next generation and now he's gone. So this is the last gasp. I think they know it's the last gasp and that will propel them into the playoffs where they'll likely get killed by like Florida or somebody in the first round.
Yeah.
So 4th place, Pittsburgh.
I had a thought there for a second. I can't remember it. Anyways, okay. 4th place for me. I'm gonna go a little bit of sleeper pick here, I think. Or this is more of a hot take. Not sleeper, it's a hot take. That's what it is. Wild card number 1, I'm going with the Carolina Hurricanes.
Interesting.
I think they're due for a little bit of regression. They've lost a lot of pieces this year. And yes, they brought in new ones, but I think it's going to take time for them to gel. Brindamore's got a specific system. It'll probably take them time to adjust to that. Can you pull up their lines for me?
I have it
'Cause-
right now, Nathan,
Perfect.
because I'm just that cool. Want
Go
me to read it?
over Yep, go over it.
All right, Nathan, let's get those listening ears open. You want forwards first, I guess?
Yep.
First line, Svechnikov, Aho, Jarvis. That's
Yep.
pretty good.
That's a great first one.
Second line, Roslovic, Kotkaniemi, Nakish. Okay, well, I like Nakish.
Yeesh, outside of
I
Nietzsche's.
think Kotkaniemi's better than people give him credit for. People just like to.
He is
was in
not
Montreal.
a second line center, though.
No. Well, I wonder how much second line center Stahl ends up playing. But anyway, and
No,
Roslovic.
Stahl's pretty old
Okay.
and
Well,
washed-ish.
Nathan,
now.
no, he isn't. He's still excellent defensively.
Yes, but he's not going to be a second line center putting up
30
points.
points. Give me my 30 points, Jordan. The one Stahl brother who wore the pride flag thingy. Anyway,
Eric did too, but then he rejected.
well, you know what I mean. The one who did it without whining.
Yeah.
Yes. So you thought that second line was mediocre. Well, wait till you hear the third line. Jordan Martinook, Jordan Stahl, and original misfit William Carrier.
I don't hate it. I like it as like a shutdown-ish line.
Sure, that's fine if you have a good second line.
Yeah, I agree.
And now probably the most forgettable fourth line in hockey. Brendan Lemieux, the son of the not the son of Mario, the son of Claude. Jack Drury, I'm pretty sure he requested a trade a few years ago, but he's still kicking around. And Tyson Jost, a bust.
Tyson
Rough.
Jost, Penticton V's legend.
Maybe
Maybe
Isaac knew him. Probably.
2016 he was there. They beat the Clippers that year on the Dynamo team.
I think the V's, they have to cheat. There's no way they're that good every year.
I don't know,
Forever.
people
Like,
just
it's-
want to go live in the Okanagan, I guess. But yeah, that
Then
forward.
go to Soyuz. I prefer. You know, Soyuz doesn't have a hospital. That's insane.
Yeah, I know.
Like, what if you have like a heart attack?
Get airlifted somewhere.
Yeah, I guess Oliver's like 20 minutes away. Anyway, may I say the defense, or are you?
I think I know their defense. It's if I can go off the top of my head. Slavin Burns, top pair.
Yep.
Oh my God. They brought in Sean Walker. What?
You're already wrong. Second pairing is Orlov Chatfield, Canuck legend.
Oh, okay.
And third pairing is Shane Gostisbehere, who I expect to do pretty well there. And Sean Walker, who's really underrated. So their defense is good.
I still love their defense. Their defense.
Their
is really
defense
good.
is objectively good.
Yes, it is a top 3 defense in the league, I would say. I don't think that's hard to say.
Well, we all know what the X factor is. It's been the X factor in Carolina for like 8 years. Is their goaltending any good? Kochetkov and the shell of Frederick Anderson. Right, like
Yeah. So we'll see. I just don't think they're going to be able to score enough. I think losing Gensel was kind of big. We'll see if any
no
of their
prospects
top.
either.
Well, they got a couple, but they're more defense. They got Moro,
Yeah,
who's defense.
That's right.
They got
The Russian kid Nikishin.
Yeah, I don't know how you say it exactly, but he's back there. They have a forward, Nadeau. That's who I'm thinking of. Nadeau could be solid. He might make the team, might not.
One interesting thing, I don't think I've ever seen a first round pick like in my preview magazines that I get that is like skinnier. He was like 156 in his draft year. That was kind of crazy.
Nadeau?
Yeah, and he's
Oh.
not like 5'8". He's like 6 foot, 6'1". So it's kind of funny.
Also, Penticton V's legend, Bradley Nadeau.
Yep.
But yeah, I'm kind of thinking they'll take a partial step back. They're still going to be good. They'll still make playoffs. I don't know. I just like other teams this year. I think they're kind of taking a step back to take a step forward the next year, I think, because they're taking a step back, let these young guys kind of come in. They're waiting for these 3 of Moro, Nishkin, I think it's how you say it, and Nadeau, and then go from there.
One little nugget I want to plant, a seed, is Tom Dundon. He's the owner. He's different. This is known in hockey circles. He operates different. He spends money where he wants to. He'll spend money on players, but he won't spend it on coaches and front office people. And so far he hasn't really taken any flack for that because the team is good. Wait till the team is bad and see if you enjoy his strategy. Right? Because remember, the crowds only just came back about 5 years ago. They were the Coyotes not before the Coyotes, because the Coyotes have always been bad attendance-wise. But that was a bad situation about a decade ago, and they've saved it because they've been good, and people want to see good teams, right? So,
especially in these southern state markets.
Yeah, so his strategy's fine right now, and I really like Eric Tulsky. He's like literally a genius, apparently. So we'll see how he does.
He is an analytic genius. Yep.
Yeah, so we'll see how he does. But wait, I want to see how Tom Dundon operates when the team's mediocre. So we'll see.
What was this Tulsky story about? Like, what was he doing like 10 years? Wasn't he like some IT nerd or something?
Yeah, and he like patented like 12 nuclear physics things, and he's like objectively a genius, and people are like, what is he doing wasting his time in hockey? This guy should be like curing cancer or something.
I think he's like
funny.
I don't think he's like a science genius. I think he's more like a math genius. But
well, same thing, Nathan. Who cares? God, you nerd.
Science and math are the same thing, Joseph?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Photons, math, electrons.
No wonder you chose
thing.
journalism.
Nathan, bro, math is hard, dude. It's hard for me. Can't do it. You should see me trying to calculate 7-year deals worth $56 million. My goodness. That's an $8 million AAV.
Top 3.
I have Carolina too.
Okay. So
see the last 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Good top line. They have good depth, but no scoring depth. Great defense. And if Kochetkov can play well, they can make a run. But I think their window is not open for the Cup this year, if that makes any sense. But their overarching window is still open. I wonder if they make a run at Rantanen in free agency, because they're going to have cap space.
I don't think Rantanen's getting there. I think he's going to sign either just before the year starts or during the year, or I think he's signing. I don't think Colorado is going to risk losing him.
Maybe. We'll see. But yeah, third place.
I'm rolling with the New York Islanders here. I think this team gets a lot more slack than they really do. And I am not the biggest Islanders fan. I hate their style.
Whoa, is this your third place team?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
They get a lot of slack, I feel like, for being like really boring. And yeah, I'm not a big fan of it and blah blah blah. This was kind of like the Trotz era. But now I've bought into it because I thought they were going to be shit like 3 years ago and they ended up making the playoffs. Or maybe it was 2 years ago. Maybe it was even last year and they made the playoffs. Fuck it. I don't even know. But I'm sick of it. I'm buying into them finally. They're making the playoffs. I really like the Duclair pickup, although I don't like how he's playing with Barzal because that lineup is very slow and you're playing your two fastest guys together. It makes no sense to me. Split them up. That's kind of like the Canucks. And I was like Hughes and Hronek objectively great last year and probably going to be objectively great again this year. But Canucks have no puck movers. Split them up. You need puck movers on each pair, or at least try to. So we'll see. They kind of all had like down years too last year, I thought, and they still made the playoffs. Like, imagine if Sorokin gets back. Although he's nursing an injury right now, isn't he? Or was at the beginning of camp.
I think so.
Like they had Sorokin on a down year and still made the playoffs.
Yep.
And they had like Pellick and Pulock down years and still made the playoffs. And Dobson's like a number one defenseman. And
that's one of the places where your culture can overcome lack of talent.
Yeah, I agree.
Now, Lou Lamoriello is a dinosaur, and I'm stunned he's still in the league. Did you catch the bit of the offseason where people were freaking out over his hair rule and that Anthony Duclair had to cut his hair?
I did, yeah.
So my general opinion on that is a few things can be true at once. It's a dumb, old, creaky dinosaur rule, right? It is.
Yeah,
it is.
I agree.
It's 2024. Like, let's move on from this. But that doesn't mean it's racist.
No.
I saw some people were like, oh, poor Anthony Duclair has to cut his dreads. Like, he knew what he was signing up for, right? Like,
no,
I think,
like you sign there, you got to buy into the team culture,
now,
even though it's maybe not right.
Now, if it was a no dreads rule, give me a pitchfork and we're storming UBS Arena, but it's not. It applies to everybody, right? Like it's a no long hair. So I don't think it's that big of a deal.
Yeah. Anyways,
Anyway.
number 3 for me. Number 2 for you.
New York Rangers.
Whoa, okay, we're getting hot now.
I don't think many teams many contenders in hockey had a more mediocre offseason than the Rangers. They made one signing, basically, and that's Riley Smith, who isn't very good anymore. They have him on the second line because Capo Caco is getting really close to bust territory.
He is a bust.
Give him one more year.
No, been enough. He's a bust.
Okay. Panarin's not healthy to start the year. There was the whole Jacob Trouba nonsense over the summer over the no trade or the no movement clause where he refused to move to Detroit of all teams. Such a weird trade that they'd send him in conference. But anyway, he's not as good as he used to be.
I think that was the only place like he would go, and I want to say.
I don't know.
But then he
point
did
is,
decide he didn't want to waive it. I don't know.
Yeah, the point is he refused to go. So and didn't he just say one of the weirdest comments I've ever seen from a captain of an original 6 fan base? He's like, "This is our last run at this as this core." I am thinking like, I don't think that's true.
I don't think that was him.
It was 1,000% him.
Oh, okay. I saw the report that
maybe it's the last,
like a beat reporter saying it was their last run together of the core. If they don't do anything, they're getting split
I'm
up.
98.3% sure it was Trouba.
Okay. I know it was a beat reporter. Maybe
it was out of context. He was saying maybe it's my last run with the core, which, okay, that's true because he's getting older. He isn't as good as he used to be, when he's not trying to kill people. But they have high-end talent. Panarin's excellent. I'm very happy Lafreniere finally had his breakout. They have him playing on the first line with Panarin and Trocheck. Zibanejad's still great. Kreider's still great when he's not trying to kill Carey Price. Philip Hedl's a good third line center. And I think Jimmy Vesey, people forget that he's a good player and not just like a diva. But they have Sam Carrick on the fourth line, somebody named Johnny Brodzinski on the fourth line. Like, he's just a bang and crash guy, no offense. Their defense is good. Ryan Lindgren is better than people give him credit for. He's not just a sidekick to Fox. He's a good player in his own right. Keandre Miller's really good. I think Zach Jones has a bright future. So does Braden Schneider. But really, they go as far as Shesterkin takes them. Like, everything can go bad. They can not score. They can be shitty defensively. Trouba can be crap. If Shesterkin is good or even great, there's no reason why they shouldn't walk to the conference final, I think.
Well, it'll be interesting to see Shesterkin at a contract here because he's given them the deadline of start of regular season, like opening night. And if there's no deal in place, he's not negotiating throughout the year. So we'll see what that kind of cloud that brings.
He should have never said that.
I don't think he said it. It was reported.
Okay,
but it's probably true.
Let me rephrase. He should have never leaked that. Maybe because that is going to be a distraction all season long. And I think he's an RFA, right?
Nope.
Okay, well, he definitely. Oh my God, this is going to be all season. If they can't get him signed in the 2 weeks it is until opening night, we're never going to hear the end of this. And it's in New York. They're going to go insane. Like, you thought it was bad with Pedersen, Nathan. It's going to be bang crash and
no. I think it's going to be worse with Vancouver and Pedersen than it was with Shesterkin in New York.
You haven't. Larry Brooks is never going to let them hear the end of it.
I think there'll be more national attention on it in New York, but I think the local attention is going to be.
Well, outside of Brooks, it's not going to be anything huge because there's like 18 other teams there. But I was actually doing like this thought experiment with myself. Like, where are the Rangers in terms of popularity in New York? They're below both the Jets and the
Giants. I would say below the Yankees,
the Knicks,
below the Mets.
So that's 5 already.
And then who else you got?
Depends where you put the Nets. I think they're better they're more popular.
I think they're more popular than the Nets.
So right now we got them 6th, objectively 6th. Maybe they're better. I don't know. We got to have a conversation about the Mets because
I think the Mets are better. Or
so
more
that's
popular.
like 6th. Isn't that kind of crazy?
The Mets always get attention for being like, oh my God, this is the year, and then they suck, and then it's like, oh, the fan base turns on them. Like,
this might be the year, Nathan. They're going to be in the playoffs, probably.
Are they good? Well, okay. We'll talk about that later. Yeah, I want to talk about
second place Rangers.
I'll just kind of quickly go over the Rangers quickly because we can, and then we'll just go over the Devils together. I have the Rangers at 1. I have the Devils at 2 for me. So for the Rangers, I think you're giving too much credit to the Devils and trying to like take away too much from the Rangers. Like the Rangers won the President's Trophy last year. I think they had 114 points, whereas the Devils had like 81, 82, I think it was.
Something like that.
I think you're you're hyping up the Devils too much to gap them, if that makes sense. Like that's a 30-point difference right there. I don't think it's possible for those to like, what are you saying the Devils finish with, like 110 and the Rangers are like
Yeah,
105, something like that?
Those signs.
I think it's just too big of a gap to make up, in my opinion. I still think the Rangers are going to be good. I think apparently it is the last dance too. Like they know this too, so we'll see. I'm still a believer. I think Zibanejad was pretty shit last year. I think he's going to want to prove something, bounce back. Panarin, I thought was going to start regressing a little bit, and he had his it was his best year last year, 100%. I think he's going to be good again. I don't know about that good of last year, but he'll be good. And I'm predicting, I will say this now and before we get our awards eventually, whenever we do, Adam Fox is winning the Norris this year. The amount of slack this guy has gotten in the past like 3 weeks, 4 weeks from like NHL Network and just hockey Twitter as a whole, it's insane. I don't understand. Like everyone's saying he's like not even like a top 5 defenseman. What are we talking about? He's still the second best defenseman in hockey, and I'm a Quinn Hughes fan. Stop this. He's still the second best.
He's not better than Makar.
Makar's the best. Fox is the second best. That's what I just said.
Okay.
He is still the second best defenseman in hockey. I don't understand this. I watch this guy play, and he's like insane every time. Yes, he doesn't put up the points like a Hughes will put up, like a Bouchard's going to put up, like probably like Darlene this year. But he's
Captain Erasmus Darlene to you.
Yes. Well, but he is so good defensively, and it's noticeable. And his analytics are insane. And I just don't like, what are they basing it off of? The fact that he missed 10 games this year or whatever, and his points were like slightly down compared to previous years? No, he's still like, I'm saying he's going to be like 80, 85 points this year, but the best like defender out of the offensive defenseman, and that's going to win him the Norris this year, in my opinion. Assuming Makar doesn't go nuclear for like 95 points. But Makar also misses like 10 games that year, so sorry, I had to go on an Adam Fox rant.
Do you, Nathan Maley, take Adam Fox to be your lawfully wedded common law partner?
No, that would be Victor Wembanyama, and you know this.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And yeah, contract year Sturkin. I think he's gonna. I don't know. I think he's gonna be really good this year, even with the negotiations. Shohei Ohtani steals bag 57 to pass Ichiro for the most by a Japanese player in a year.
Nice.
I think it was a year.
Devils. I got him number 1.
Okay.
Nathan Maley. There was no team in hockey that was more sabotaged by having bottom 5 goaltending than the Devils. Their goaltending was so bad that I was reading like a statistic. It was like in 70% of the games they were down a goal, like within 10 minutes. Because Schmid, Vanacek, Dawes, Jake Allen for a little bit, their goaltending was so bad. And it was demoralizing. It literally cost Lindy Ruff his job. Literally. There was no other reason. Like they could not overcome it. And now they spent a little bit of their draft capital. They got rid of Kevin Ball for Jacob Markstrom, who I'm expecting to be very good. Because now he's got a good defensive structure. Hamilton's back. They got Luke Hughes, Jonas Siegenthaler. They signed Brett Pesce, who I'm a huge fan of, even though he's injured right now. Brendan Dillon's always been underrated. Jacob Markstrom is going to carry this team to first in the division. I'm right. I am not wrong. I refuse to listen to any other arguments. I think Jack Hughes is going to finally have a healthy season and put up 100 points. I think Nico Hischier might just be the best number 2 center in the game if Draisaitl's playing on the wing. I think he's extremely underrated. I think Dawson Mercer is going to have another breakout season. Or not another breakout season. His breakout was 2 years ago, but I think he's going to continue to level up. I think Palat, Haula, and Stefan Nason are a really good third line. And I think that Nathan Bastian is pretty underrated on the fourth line. So that's my arguments. Devils, first place.
I'm just bringing up this Heischer. This isn't even me trying to be biased. This is off the top of my head. Are we counting JT Miller as a second line center?
No, because he splits his time.
Okay. So you wouldn't call like that neither him or Pedersen qualify for this conversation?
Okay, let me rephrase. He is among the best second line centers
Okay.
in the game.
Cause yeah, I agree with that. It's just like the best. I'm trying to think. I like even like Hintz. I was thinking
Oh,
of.
Hintz
Or
is number one.
Hintz plays number one. Yeah, who's second line center there? Was it by Johnson?
Say again.
No,
Or
second playing center.
sometimes.
I was trying to think. It's got to be a name I'm missing.
Well, Nathan, good. It's your lucky day. I have the daily face-off line projections out in front of me. As I click this button and I scroll to Dallas and I hit that button and I wait for the loading screen, which is taking unreasonably long.
I wasn't even thinking of Dallas though. I was just thinking in the whole league. Like, there's got to be someone I'm missing.
Oh,
That's the-
Duchesne. Jesus. Duchesne is a number two.
Yeah.
But, yeah,
Mm.
okay. But yeah, he sure is very good, and I expect this to be the Devils are my breakout team.
That's fair. My take is I just can't see them making up that 30 plus point or like that 30-point difference on the Rangers to pass them this year. That's a lot of points. And yes, it's like was goalies last year, but they're also not a very they're a pretty fragile team. They get hurt a lot. Like Jack Hughes hurt. Luke Hughes is hurt to start the year, it sounds like. I don't think he's going to be ready for the opening night. Dougie Hamilton has played, I don't even know how many games the past 2 years. Not a lot, I don't
Hardly
think.
any.
Yeah. Even though he is great, but Pesci injured right now. And keep in mind with Markstrom, he's kind of a spotty goalie. He has these years where he's really good. Like last year was one of them. He was really good. He could have been a Vezina candidate, but the Flames just sucked and just didn't give him much support. But like the previous year wasn't good. I don't think. Yeah, he wasn't good. That's the reason they missed the playoffs.
He kind of alternates.
Yeah, he goes off and on. So if he was good last year, this is the off year. And plus, he's now 35, I believe, coming into this year. 35-year-old goalie. Yeah, I don't know. I do love their defense. I feel like I've said a lot of teams have the top 3 defense. I would probably put them like top 5. I think just because Hughes and Nemec need a bit more time, but other than that, it's really good. Their forward core. Can you read their forward lines? Actually, let's do a dive through the forward lines if you can pull that up.
Okay.
Because
Currently I'm on Dallas,
first line is Hughes with would it be Meyer and Bratt, I guess.
That is correct. And
Second
then second line, they have
Heischer,
Tomasz Tatar with Heischer and Dawson Mercer.
Tatar.
And then third line, Palat, Howlett, Nason. Fourth line, Cotter, Lazar, and Bastian.
I do think that the forward depth scares me a little bit, like those bottom 2 lines.
Yeah, they made a really weird trade with Vegas. They sent Alex Holtz, who was the 7th overall pick a few years ago, for Paul Cotter of all people.
Okay,
I thought that was weird.
I have a take on Holtz. I think I said this to my Vegas buddy. I don't think Holtz is that good. I think Jersey realized that and traded him for whatever value they could get because they're just like, this guy isn't going to work. We don't have space for him, and we don't think he's that good. I think that's my take.
You could have got more for it. I mean, if that's true, then your 7th overall pick from I think it was 3 years ago to be traded away for a fourth liner, like that's Jim Benning level malpractice.
Well, what was it? McLeod got traded for Savoy. It's pretty bad too.
So McLeod's objectively better than Potter or Paul Cotter, whatever his name is, Harry Potter, whatever they call him.
Anyways, second place Devils for me. I'm still expecting them to jump back in the playoffs now that they do have goaltending because their goaltending, yes, was so bad last year that it derailed them. But injuries also derailed them. So we'll see if they can stay healthy. I'm banking on it. I don't want to put them in like a wild card, but I'm not gonna. But second place. And with that wraps the Metro, and we are jumping to. Where are we jumping to next? I got to pull up our list again. You want to go week 3?
NFL?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay. I'll pull up.
Now, admittedly, I watched very little football this past week. Like I missed the Thursday nighter. I didn't watch very much on Sunday. So Nathan Maley, I expect you to carry this conversation.
Okay, I'll try and whip through some games. Jets Patriots. Is Aaron Rodgers back? You think
No.
he is?
It's
Yes,
the
dude.
Patriots. Jesus.
They have a good defense, and Rodgers
Oh.
looked good that game. He could move. He could hit throws like on the run. Their O line is blocking because they actually have a really good O line now for them. Yes, the Patriots offense was a shit show that game, and they didn't really have the ball much. And when they did, they didn't do much with it and just go right back to the Jets. But I don't know. I'm kind of worried about the Jets now, and I was a believer in the Jets last year, and I'm not a Rodgers fan. I'm not. And then they sucked, and oh my god, it's 14-5. Sorry, in the Jays game.
Yeah, I have it on in the background. It's rough.
But yeah, I'm thinking the Jets are back. Whip through this. Seahawks, Dolphins. I just want to preview, like, I'm hyped the Seahawks are 3-0. I wish we're getting a little bit more respect. I do understand though, we have to play a good team.
Yeah, they've played plumbers so
Yes. But that being said, even if they lose this week to the Lions on Monday night.
Okay, Nathan, quick pause here. I have Jake Berger on my screen, and an unsightly thought just occurred to me. He looks like a Rowdy Tellez Alejandro Kirk love child. Look him up. It's scary. Anyway, keep going.
Yeah. I will say, even if we lose on Monday night to the Lions, but if it's a close game, I want respect. Start giving them respect.
Retweet.
They deserve it, I think, even if they lose a close one.
RESPECT.
Yeah.
Trust me.
Broncos, Bucks. Did not watch a lot of it. I was surprised that I don't know. That I feel like everyone's picking Bucks to win that game, and Bo Nix actually had a decent game. 25-36, 216. Had 9 rushes for 47 yards. I don't know. Didn't really watch any of that. I think it was on the same time as the Seahawks, if I'm not mistaken. So that might be why. Vikings, Texans. The Vikings
Yeah.
are legit? Are they?
Probably not.
Or is it
they're gonna
just-
cool off.
Is it a Sam Darnold, like, oh my God,
He's
look at me
playing
go?
well. He's better now. He's finally in a system that isn't like the Jets.
Kevin
So-
O'Connell is like a quarterback whisperer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and they have some weapons. They have Jefferson. They have Alvin Jones. Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones. But yeah, they got a good defense. So I was expecting them to be pretty good with McCarthy. So not playoff good.
I don't think McCarthy was going to even start regardless. I think he was sitting the first year.
Yeah.
Behind Darnold.
Which is smart. More teams should do that.
Yes, I agree. Steelers, Chargers. I think this game was also on the same time as the Seahawks.
Yeah, rip my fantasy team. I have Love
Mhm.
and Herbert.
What's that?
I have Love and Herbert as my
Oh,
quarterbacks.
I think Love is going to be back this week. He's questionable to play, but I feel like he's going to play because their big game against the Vikings. Steelers 3-0.
They're frauds.
Yeah, their defense is really good, but they're going to need to score some points because they've scored, I believe, 1 touchdown in 3 games so far. Oh no, sorry. They've scored 3 touchdowns in 3 games. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Eagles Saints, thought it was going to be more of a shootout. Turned out to be a snooze fest defensive game. Saints aren't who we thought they are, probably, I guess.
I'm waiting for you to get to my goats here, but you haven't got to them yet.
I'm going down through the scores list.
Okay.
Packers, Titans. Titans suck. And I'm actually surprised about that. I thought they were going to be decent. Will Levis is objectively a terrible quarterback. Just puts the ball in harm's way too much. What are you doing? What was that?
Isn't that what he is? Isn't that
What?
what he?
Isn't that was that him? The picture after he threw the pick in week 1?
Oh, the
Yes.
yeah, okay, yeah. That.
When I think of Will Levis.
Giants, Browns. Malik Neighbors is really fucking good. That's all I got really from that game. And Deshaun's just still sucks. Bears and Colts. Colts beating the Bears. Caleb looked better, I'm pretty sure, from what I heard. I didn't really watch much of this game. Like, he threw for 363 yards. He was 33 of 52, though. That's crazy. Their O-line sucks still. They can't block for Caleb to throw. They can't block for Swift or Roshan Johnson to rush. Anthony Richardson, as much as I
Looking
love him,
rough.
we got to have a conversation. Yeah, he's got to.
I read this really funny tweet where it's like Anthony Richardson can make the 60-yard throws look easy and make the 5-yard throws look impossible.
Yes. It's kind of true. He's got to figure that out. And
Yeah.
I want like if you were gonna give slack, I saw this tweet too. If you're gonna give slack to Levis, you have to give slack to Anthony Richardson too, because they're basically the same right now. Other than Richardson was a 4th overall pick and Levis dropped to the 2nd round. Panthers, Raiders. Panthers are Andy Dalton's him.
That's my goat.
Is this what you were referring to? Yeah.
Love Andy Dalton. He's my favorite. He just goes there and he just does his red rifle shit. He's above average and his teams always stink. I would have loved to have seen prime Andy Dalton on a real team.
Yeah. Would have been fun. Well, he had AJ Green, which was fun for a couple
Yeah,
years.
but he had Marvin Jones coaching him.
Yeah, wasn't great. But they made the playoffs one time.
And then lost like I think they were like 0 he was there for like 16 years, Marvin Jones, and he went like 0-5 in the playoffs. It was kind of crazy.
You can thank Fontes Perfect, I believe his name was. Fontes?
Yes, the murderer of what was left of Antonio Brown's brain.
Well, no, that was Antonio Brown's brain.
Yeah.
It was, yeah. Good for the Panthers though. Bryce Young, we gotta have a problem. We gotta have a conversation. You might be the
We're
problem.
getting there. We're getting there.
We'll see.
Fast approaching.
I still think he'll come back later in the year and play at one point. But if he's not good, then yeah,
Get ready to learn traded for a 6th round pick.
Ravens, Cowboys. I think the Cowboys are who we all thought they were. They're still frauds. Ravens were cooking them until late in that game, and we got to have a conversation about the Ravens too. They've blown they didn't lose this one, but they've blown an absurd amount of double-digit leads in the 4th quarter in the past 2 years or 3 years, I believe now. It's weird. There's a graphic of it. You got to find it. It's bad. Rams, Niners need to get healthy. Enough said. I mean, or they can stay unhealthy and I'll be happy because I hate the Niners, but Brandon Ayuk too. Man, you gotta figure your shit out. You suck now. You're not a good football player at the moment. Too much diva shit. Good for the Rams. They couldn't go on 3. Lions Cardinals, I thought that game was going to be more of a shootout. I don't think this game was also on the same time as the Seahawks. Didn't pay attention to it. Wait, so was I not watching the 10 o'clock window? What was going on there? No, I went to the gym.
It was a boring week. It was a really boring week.
I went to the gym. That's what I did. I started watching the first halves of every game, and then I went to the gym and then came back and watched the Seahawks game. I don't really got much thoughts on that game because other than I thought it was going to be a shootout and it turned out to be a defensive game. Chiefs Falcons, I caught the end of a little bit. I believe I had a nap, so I didn't in the middle of it. I don't know why, but I think I was just feeling like I needed a nap. Let's have a conversation about Mr. Swift here. He is washed. Sorry, buddy.
Oh, sorry, DeAndre. Just kidding. I know you're talking about Travis.
Yes.
Yeah, he looks horrible. What happened? Did he just not work out all summer? I know he was flying all over the place to be on the Eras tour, but he looks done. He looks cooked.
He looks like he's lost a step, speed, and
the thing is about Gronk. I know Gronk was younger than Kelsey when he was done, but he never looked washed like this. He looks awful, terrible, no good, very bad. Maybe he'll pick it up and then win another Super Bowl, but not looking good for him and the Chiefs who cheat every week and win.
Didn't cheat that week.
Well, the pass interference calls. One of them was
the Bengals one. That was a pass interference, 100%.
Yes, the most recent one wasn't, or I can't remember. What the point is, I don't want to talk about the Chiefs. I hate them. They get enough media attention.
Yeah. Bills, Jags, Doug Peterson. I don't know what you've been drinking down in Florida, but you're about to get fired. You fucking suck.
Yeah, I think the Jaguars would throw him into the hurricane if they had a chance.
Right before we hopped on to start recording, I went on Twitter. There was a kick streamer who was live streaming on a beach during the hurricane, and he almost died. Like the water sort of like, I'm like, what are you doing?
My goodness. Florida's like a different breed. Like in hundreds of years when we're all living on Mars or something, the studies they do about Florida is just going to be insane.
Josh Allen's probably MVP favorite. Bills look really good. So we'll see. And then Commanders, Bengals. Jaden Daniels, man, you are really good. I'm sorry. I didn't think I thought like he was gonna I thought he was a first round pick worth still. I thought he was getting too much hype though.
Yeah.
I thought
I'm
Drake
disappointed.
May was better prospect. But
Yeah.
yeah, he is really good.
Very disappointed in my Bengals.
Welcome to the Seahawks bandwagon,
Oh
Joseph.
God. I mean, it's just like Jamar Chase, you schmuck. You screwed everything up.
He had
You
a good
screwed up
game.
training camp. I know he had a good game, but you screwed up all the good vibes that they had, and I mean, lots of time left, but not looking good.
I think as much as it is like Jamar Chase, like the vibe and stuff, I think you got to give a little bit of blame to T. Higgins too.
Yeah, he's done
Like
nothing.
both of them are not under
And
contract.
Tyler Boyd's gone.
Hey,
So-
Yoshivas looks pretty good.
Yep.
As a third receiver. But yeah, they got to figure out the defense. The Bengals are objectively a very cheap franchise. They
Yeah.
have a cheap owner, and they don't want to spend for players unless they have to, which they did with Burrow. They will probably do with Chase eventually, but they're not going to do it with Higgins. But they have let so much talent walk on their defense, and it is killing them this year because their defense is just not very good anymore. Which is probably one of the reasons they got to the Super Bowl in 2022 would have been the year, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. 22.
And then this week, since we're recording on Friday, the Cowboys Giants was last night. Weird game. It was close, but like it shouldn't have been close. Giants just kept going down the field and kicking field goals because Daniel Jones couldn't do much else. Daniel Jones didn't have a horrible game, I thought. He's making the right throws and stuff. But
yeah, he's just not
just couldn't push the
he's a
ball into
game
the end
manager.
zone.
He's just a game manager on a
And
bad
then
team.
they also couldn't run the ball. Singletary's was averaging 1.7 yards a carry. Malik Neighbors had another pop-off game, but now Malik Neighbors has a concussion on the last offensive play of the game for the Giants because he just face planted in the ground himself. We'll see.
Yeah. I think that's very boring week in the NFL. Not much happened.
Yeah, I gotta.
But let's get to Favre.
Oh yes. Wait. Was there anything else I wanted to bring up before that? I feel like I had something else. Let me just go back. No, there's an. Yep, goes Brett Favre.
Yeah, so Brett Favre was in like Congress or something testifying for who knows what reason. And he says he has Parkinson's, which I thought was kind of interesting because Brett Favre is kind of like the poster boy for quarterbacks who've had a shit ton of concussions but still played because of the era that it was in. He must have had like 7 or 8. And I know the last play of his career was him getting decked and like knocked unconscious when he's with Minnesota. And that's why he finally stopped playing. But yeah, he says he has Parkinson's, which, sucks. I know what Parkinson's looks like. I have a family member who has it. It's terrible. It's like he wasn't shaking very much. I didn't see much of it. Like we all know, we've all seen Michael J. Fox over the years. The shaking and the verbal stumbles. So I guess he's in the early stages, Brett Favre. But yeah, too bad. Something about Brett Favre, I don't know if you're aware of this, Nathan, but he got in a big trouble a few years ago for stealing a whole bunch of welfare money from the state of Mississippi. Basically, what was going to happen was the state of Mississippi was going to pay him to do a whole bunch of speeches, and he took their money in advance and then just didn't show up. And he did that for like a year, and no one knew about it until recently. And as you may know, Mississippi is the poorest state in the United States. It's the worst in education, the worst in infrastructure, worst in healthcare. It's like it's a literal shit show. It's Mississippi, not Missouri. I don't know if I said Missouri, but it's Mississippi. And he stole their money, and now he has Parkinson's. And a lot of people are like, haha, take that, bad guy, which I don't know. That's not how I roll, but a little bit of karma for a pretty lousy person, in my opinion.
I want to bring back up the concussion fact. I believe I looked this up when it came out. He said he was diagnosed with, I believe, 3 or 4 concussions in his NFL playing career. Do you hear that?
No.
Okay. 3 or 4 concussions in his NFL playing career he was
Okay.
diagnosed with.
So
That's
that's
what
more like 8.
No. He thinks his number could have been in the thousands. And he continued to play.
How is he still a human being?
Well, yeah, I don't know.
How is
But-
he still sentient?
That's it. That's the quote I saw from, I believe, ESPN, and he said that or something. So take what you read it, but hopefully it's a message. We got hopefully Tua reads this and he's like, oh shit, look at Mr. Quarterback known for concussions over here. Not to the extent that I am now, but he's got Parkinson's. Do I really want to come back and risk that happening to me, or is that damage already done? I don't even know. But yeah, Tua, retire. I'm sorry. We said it last episode, I believe.
Go to
but
Hawaii. I would, if I was him, I'd go to Hawaii yesterday. You'd never see me again. I'd
Yeah.
be gone. I'd be surfing.
Okay. Is that what wraps up what we want to talk about there?
Yeah.
Quickly. Emily, let's go Shohei's first, because well, this was a little older, but Shohei Ohtani, the first 50-50 season in MLB history. He is now at 57 stolen bases and I believe 53 home runs,
Yeah, I think that's right.
because he stole tonight and
Stole your mama. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah,
does
he's literally not a real person.
yeah,
Like
he is a
how is this? It should not be possible for him to do all this, have this kind of speed, this kind of power. And then you realize, you look at the season he's having and be like, wow, this is one of the greatest seasons ever. And then you realize, wait a minute, he could be pitching if he wasn't injured. And he could be one of the best pitchers in the game, along with objectively the best hitter in the game. It's literally insane how talented one person can be. There's never been anything like him before, and there may not be again.
See, I think he's getting this 50. I don't think he's going to get 50-50 again. Well, just no one has before. Do you really think he's going to he's going to do it back to back years? Probably not.
He's
and
not going to steal as much when he's pitching.
He's 30 or 31, isn't he?
Something like that.
He's a little bit older. So his speed will regress a little bit, you would think. And he's a big guy. He's 6'3" or 6'4", is he not?
Yeah, he's 6'4", 220.
Yeah, jeez. I think he kind of was just like, fuck it, let's go steal all the bases because I'm not pitching. I don't really have anything to worry about in that regard. Because what was his most stolen bases in the season before this?
It would be in the 20s, maybe 30. Yeah, he's
26 in 2021.
Okay, that was his first huge year.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah, because I remember 2020, he was pretty ass, but that was a weird year. So, yeah, just he's just a phenomenon that no one's ever seen before, and no one's ever. We may not see it again because this is a 1 in a trillion outcome in baseball to be that good of a hitter, have that much speed, and then be a top 3 pitcher in the game as well. Kind of crazy.
It's madness, and I am not a Dodgers fan. I hate the Dodgers. They just pay for everyone, and same as the Yankees. They just they pay to win, and it's just annoying. But I am objectively so excited to see Shohei in the playoffs, and he might come back and pitch. Apparently, if they go deep enough, he might be an arm out of the bullpen.
That would be kind of crazy.
That's a rumor I heard a month ago that was floating around. But with that, I proposed to Joseph over text that we come on here and we do our top 5 current athletes in the world. Now, there is a rule with this. We have to use the 4 major sports. I believe for the most part they are they are all top 5. Maybe one that I think you could make an argument that he's not. And then we get a wild card spot, and they could be fitted anywhere. They could be from any sport. I'm curious to see what Joseph comes up with, but we'll same kind of order. You go first. Number 5. Who's your 5th best athlete?
My 5th best athlete is I did spend a lot of time thinking about it. I don't have it written down, but I have the general consensus in my enormous brain at the moment. I'd say number 5 is going to be Yeah, I got him there. I think 3 are like objective.
I think the
Or-
top 3 are like 100%
or
locked.
yeah, it's 4 and 5 is where there's some variance. So I'm gonna say number 5. I'm gonna say Aaron Judge.
Whoa, wait. Okay, yeah. I'm okay. Maybe we didn't get this memo across. Okay, because I was thinking you
Or
can't.
you can do wild card first.
No, so no, the wild card can be anywhere. Is that your wild card then?
It's so hard. Like
But like because like I'm thinking it's the top 4, like the best of their sport is what I was kind of thinking the list is. Maybe I didn't put that clear enough. So like Ohtani is the best in baseball. That you can't have
yes,
Judge.
okay.
That was
Okay,
my
so hold on. Okay, Nathan. Jeez, man. Jeez.
sorry. I should have
Jeez
clarified that better.
Louise.
I should have
Jeez
clarified that
Louise.
better.
You should have. Kill yourself. No, I'm just kidding. Okay. In that case, I'm good. Okay, then it's all different now. It's all different. So if I can't use Judge, then because I'm gonna have obviously Otani's probably spoiler alert, Otani's number 1. Okay, cool. Number 5, Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Okay. Oh,
Okay.
okay. Yep.
Number 4 is going to be okay. Well, we're doing top 5, and there's the 4 leagues, so there's going to have to be some overlap.
What do you mean?
There's going to be 2 people from the same.
No. So I'm saying you have to pull from a different sport or a different league or something.
Okay, fine. So we're branching out then.
Yes, a little bit.
Okay. Well, then it's all different again, Nathan. God, Nathan, you fraud. You're screwing me up. Okay. Giannis is now 4. He is no longer 5.
Okay.
Okay. So then number 5, we're going to say in a whole different sport. Then let us go with if Michael Phelps was still around, I'd do him no problem. That's what she said. Oh, damn. I don't watch many other sports outside. Oh, I'm a retard. Jesus Christ. Kylian Mbappe.
Yeah, okay. I figured
Okay.
you were going to do that.
Okay. Yeah, God. It's so weird because I got so into soccer this past year and then it just completely flew over my mind. Boy, this is top tier television. Okay. Number 5, Kylian Mbappe of your Real Madrid, Los Blancos. That means the whites in Spanish.
Hala Madrid.
Yep. Alfonso Davies, you're next. Number 4, I have Giannis Antetokounmpo. Probably the best combination of speed and raw power that the NBA has ever seen, outside of LeBron James. But LeBron James isn't in the conversation anymore. Now, that's not a diss because he's 1,000 years old, but he's not the best player in the NBA, and he probably hasn't been in about 5 years, maybe 6, in my opinion.
LeBron?
Yeah, 5 or 6 years.
2020 is the last year you could say.
Okay, but that was bubble and no one counts that. But okay, 4, Giannis. Number 3, I'm going to go with Patrick Mahomes. Excuse me. I don't like him, but there's no denying his talent. Probably the second greatest talent-wise quarterback of all time. I think Brady's ahead of him just in terms of his pocket awareness. His football brain there's probably never going to be seen again how smart he was. But if Mahomes continues his current pace, I think he's got a really strong chance of passing Brady as the GOAT. Numero dos, I have my glorious king, Connor McDavid. Connor McDavid is my guy. He's my sunshine. He is my favorite person. Never in my life have I ever seen anyone so talented at one specific sport. Like, there is such a gulf between him and the next best player, Nathan McKinnon, in the NHL that it's like insane. He had a down season last year and had 132 points and 100 assists, which before I think only like 3 or 4 players had done ever. And he is a Stuart Skinner stop on Sam Reinhart away from having a shot at winning the Stanley Cup final. Like, he's just transcendent. I've never seen anyone skate the way he does. And it's kind of insane because he's not like incredibly well-built guy. He's like 6'1", 195. But his skating, his passing, his brain, his shot is really underrated. Connor McDavid's my guy. And I think he's got a really strong chance if he can win a cup to go into top 3 player of all time. And number 1, Shohei Ohtani. There's just no comparison to what he's done. I literally cannot make a comparison because you'd have to go back to Babe Ruth, which was 100 years ago, and it wasn't even done on the scale that he's doing. He's the best hitter.
That was your time 100 years ago.
Boy, Nathan, you're so funny. That must get you so much women. Um, you, yes, he's the best hitter in the game. He's might be the fastest runner. And he's arguably the best pitcher in the game when he plays. That's the three of the four facets of the game right there. He's the best at. And if they let him play right field, I think he'd be probably pretty good there too. But they don't. So anyway, that's my list. Mbappe, Giannis, Mahomes, McDavid, Ohtani.
So in my 5, I have Jokic. I still think he's the best player. I think he passed Giannis a year or two ago, in my opinion. Such an insanely gifted offensive big man. I'm worried about his, because he's in his prime right now. I believe he's like 30 right now. I'm worried about how his longevity is going to last. Like, I still think he can be an effective player to somewhat, but because he's not a athletically gifted player,
He's
he
fat.
relies on his smarts and his like shooting ability and whatnot, which is not going to go away. But we'll see what happens when he's really, really slow and he can't play defense. And so we'll see. He's still the best player in the NBA though. But he's at number 5 for me. Number 4, going a little off the board. I think this is underrated. Give me Scotty Scheffler.
This guy bringing up golf over here. My
Yes,
goodness.
I'm sorry, dude. Scotty Scheffler is so good. Do you
John
know?
Rahm clears.
Do you know how many tournaments this guy won this year? I believe he won like 6 or 7 tournaments
Yeah, he's very
in
good.
one calendar year.
That's like
fuck.
Tiger Woods 1999 levels.
And I believe his caddy gets like an insane amount of money this year because he's won so many tournaments, and it's crazy. All while having a kid this year, first kid too, and then having
Yeah.
the police incident at
yeah, I was thinking, was that him in the
yeah.
pants? Like that was so funny. But yes,
at
continue.
the PGA Championship, I believe it was. No, Tour Championship.
Yeah.
I think. Or is it the Players Open?
I don't know. Who cares? The point is, his pants were ripped and he had a spaz over it.
No, that's not what it was. I don't think.
No, it was. I'm right. I'm right.
No, it wasn't it. He was driving up to the golf course, but there was like an accident that killed someone and they were investigating it, and he was trying to get in, and he didn't like hear what the guard was saying, and they
and
pulled
they
him over and
pulled him
arrested him.
over. Yeah, and then he ripped his pants and whined about it.
Oh, I don't even know.
Anyway,
Anyways,
So that's
okay,
the point.
this top 3, I must say, so hard to rank. I think there's a case for each one of these guys being the number 1. And I don't think that's hot to take. Hot to say. I do have Mahomes 3. And it's weird to say because he has the most team accomplishments like to show for. And everyone's like, oh, it's the Chiefs. We can't beat them, blah, blah, blah. Like, they're going to get to the AFC Championship at least every year since Mahomes has been there. And yet I'm putting him at 3, which it feels so wrong. I just think in terms of pure athletes in their sports, I don't think anyone comes close. Like, and no one comes close to Mahomes. Yet I think there's somehow people who come, like people in the NFL come closer to Mahomes than they do to McDavid and Ohtani.
Yeah.
Number 2, I do have McDavid. I always was a believer McDavid was the best athlete in his sport until just now, honestly, Ohtani, when he did this, because it's just insane. Yeah, like you said, down year this year, and he still had 132 points, I believe it was.
Yeah.
100 assists year, first time since Gretzky and Mario did it, I believe. How many people have done it now? Was Kucherov did it there?
It's those
Like 6,
two.
7?
I'm missing somebody. I can't remember who.
Bobby Orr
did
did it. Bobby Orr did it 1 year, didn't he?
I don't think so. I think it was. I don't think it was Iserman, but we're missing somebody for sure.
I thought it was a Bobby Orr year, did it? But if you want to look up that on the side, I'll try and keep going. Yes, McDavid needs a team's success though to go higher, but like so does Ohtani. But Ohtani is my number 1. You often hear the term in baseball like a 5-tool player. You can hit, you can run, you can play defense. Although Ohtani doesn't play defense.
It was Orr, just to go in. It was Orr, Gretzky, Lemieux, McDavid, Kucherov.
Oh, speaking of Shohei, home run 54.
Good for him.
The first, is he going to, well, he'll get 50. He's got 2 games to hit home run, 55 and 55.
Maybe.
55 and 60 would be insane. Oh my God. Just, I can't even
Nathan at the
I can't
stop, he was so
comprehend this.
aroused.
It's insane.
That's funny.
Yeah. So you hear the term 5-tool baseball player. He might be the first 6-tool baseball player because he pitches too. And he's not even pitching this year. And he's probably going to come back and still be a 3 ERA, strikes out over probably 30 more guys than innings pitched pitches or whatever. It's insane. And I think there's a decent chance he comes back in the playoffs and pitches insane again, but I don't know. We'll see. So yeah, that's my list. Jokic 5, Scheffler 4, Mahomes 3, McDavid 2, Ohtani at 1.
Nice.
I didn't put Mbappe, I will say, because I do think he is the best soccer player, but I think there's not a big of a gap as being the best soccer player compared to Scheffler right now.
I agree. Soccer's weird because there's so many good players.
Yes.
In so many parts of the world. And it's never been better, even though the game has probably never been in a worse spot. If you talk to soccer football fans, they'll say that Pep Guardiola and Manchester City have ruined the game through back passing and possession-based tactics. There's this whole trend called Barclays Men on Twitter, where it's when the Premier League used to be called the Barclays Premier League. It's 2002 to 2016.
Right.
And they're bringing up old videos of, God, referring to 2013 as old, someone kill me. But of just how much fun the league was back then. Now it's just boring because Manchester City just wins every year. But yeah, good lists. Good topic.
Yeah. I thought it was a fun one to bring up, especially given the context of, what just happened. Oakland.
Yeah.
If you haven't heard, well, you should have heard. I believe we've talked about this before when it first came out, but Oakland being relocated to Las Vegas after this year. They are leaving the Coliseum, and this is now the third franchise in the past. When did the Raiders leave?
2021.
Something like that.
Something along those lines. And I know Golden State, the last game to Oracle was the championship game. So I was 2019.
Yes. So 2019 probably is I think it's 2018 or 2019. Pretty sure. But past 5-6 years, they've had all 3 of their sports teams leave. They don't have an NHL team. It would be San Jose. It will be San Jose technically, but it's a bit away. So, just awful situation. Their owner is the biggest scumbag on the planet.
He's awful.
I'll let you dig into why.
First of all, now while they're leaving and it sucks, you can see why Fisher wants to leave if you really squint. The only thing I'll say, yup, that is true too, is the Oakland Coliseum, which has been around since Julius Caesar was ruling Rome. It's a dump. It needs to go. They needed a new building. It's done. It's been outdated for 25 years. It's time to move on from the Coliseum. That is true. But John Fisher, that disingenuous hack, put no effort into putting a new stadium in. He'll go, oh, Howard Terminal, I invested $100 million in that. Well, good for you. You did the bare minimum. It's just so frustrating to see him get away with this. I was reading a statistic. It was in 2004, the Oakland A's payroll was $64 million. John Fisher bought the team the next season, and the Oakland A's payroll this year is $62 million. So 20 years later, he hasn't put any more investment into the team. Why would any fan go to a game in Oakland where the stadium's a shit show, the owner's an asshole, they have not no good players, but every good player leaves? It's really sad. When the Expos left, their owner, Jeffrey Loria, was a prick. He was a jerk, but he spent money. They put ungodly amounts of money into putting Olympic Stadium into being a good stadium. It was you just couldn't do it because Olympic Stadium's a mess. This guy, John Fisher, I've never seen a more deliberate attempt to sabotage a fan base. He literally did not do anything good in his tenure. Every player that was worth a damn traded, let walk, or released. Anytime they made the playoffs, they were out in 5 seconds because they have no depth, because they don't spend. They let Bob Melvin leave a couple years ago when he was the best manager they ever had and arguably one of the best managers in baseball because Fisher wouldn't pay him. They don't do giveaways anymore because they won't spend the money on the marketing. And now they're gone. 60 years of history is gone because of one man's incompetence. And he doesn't care. He's one of those owners where he did not earn any of his money. He inherited it all from mommy and daddy. His parents founded Gap, which is the apparel store in the United States. Everything he has is because he's inherited. He has the same amount of financial skill as you and I. We both have earned the same amount of money in our lives. He's a fraud. He's a jerk. He should not be allowed to be doing this with Las Vegas, who don't even want the A's. They still don't have a ballpark planned for Las Vegas when they eventually go. They have to go to Sacramento for 3 years, which is one of the hottest places on the planet. So they're going to be dying in 100-degree temperatures in July and August. They've ripped out the field in that ballpark, the AAA ballpark. They're putting turf there. So it's going to be 100 degrees on turf, which is hell for anyone who's ever experienced that. Like, this is just so short-sighted. I cannot believe Rob Manfred, that fraud, allowed this to happen. Like, yes, the building was old and decrepit. Yes, the fans probably didn't do the best job they could have of supporting the team. But this is all on John Fisher, and he's an asshole. And he's moving a team with so much histories that is beloved around the world because of Moneyball. He let them die, and he was the one that pulled the trigger, not the fans. And that's the end of the story. So they're going to be in limbo for a few years. They're not going to sign a single free agent. Their budget's probably going to drop even further. They're going to be shit for 3 years in Sacramento. Then they're going to be shit in Las Vegas. And Oakland's probably never going to get a team again because they can't get a ballpark going. So
I think
that's it.
I don't think their fans played a like they kind of played a part, but
Wait, let me rephrase.
they have
Obviously,
a fan base.
we're not blaming the fans. Obviously, the point is, what's the point? The Oakland government couldn't get. They have to wear some of it too. Like the mayor, they could not get the stadium done on either side. So that's what I meant to say.
Even the NFL too. They couldn't get that done. The Warriors, I mean, fair enough. You leave Oracle was aging and you move to San Francisco, who's one of the bigger growing cities in the world. So fair enough. And you didn't
And it's just across the bay. They're still there.
Yeah, we were texting about this. They're across the bay, it's still there. I still think you have to consider them moving because they did. Not as far as these other two going to Vegas. Just awful. But like this isn't on the fence. They have a fan base. They have a strong fan base, despite them having like 8,000 fans a game, being like empty in that huge stadium. Because how many seats? Like was it
45,000, 60,000? Like it was an
like,
NFL stadium. That's what it was.
It was like 46,000, I think, at the sellout.
And that's without that monstrosity in center field, Mount Davis being open.
Yes.
Like, look at the old pictures of Oakland Coliseum before Mount Davis was put on. It's beautiful. You can see the Oakland skyline. You can see the mountains. You can see the sun setting. But it was just a monstrosity of a ballpark that should be put out of its misery, honestly.
I hate, I've seen, tours of, people going around the entire building and the concourse and, showing it. And it's sad to see. It looks not even like a AAA ballpark. It looks like I don't even know what you would call it.
It's all neglect. It's been neglected for 20 years.
There is so many university teams of in the States that have better there could be
Bailey Stadium is in better shape than Oakland Coliseum.
There is probably Div 2 lacrosse teams that have a better practice / game facility than the Coliseum.
Want to hear something insane? Every major league team outside of Tampa Bay and Oakland have their bullpens in a special spot. Oakland's is still on the field. That's archaic. Oakland's dugouts don't have a railing or a benchmark to protect them from foul balls. So you better hope that Vladimir Guerrero Jr. doesn't send one of his 110-mile-an-hour ground balls into there because you might die. Like, it's insane that John Fisher couldn't shell out the $15,000 it would have taken to put railings there. Like, it's just neglectful, and it's shameful. Like, his letter he put out was like, "Oh, we tried." Like, fuck you, you piece of shit. You didn't try for shit. Only reason you're moving is because you want your revenue sharing, and this is a way you can prop up more because you're going to be losing even more money playing in a crap ballpark in Sacramento.
Yeah. Yeah, they're going to Sacramento for a couple of years. I completely forgot about that too. I thought they were going to like the Vegas AAA spot or whatever. Or didn't they turn them away?
No, because they don't want them.
Yeah.
There's one person in Nevada who wants him, and that's the governor, Joe Lacobo, or whatever his name is. He's the only person who wants him there. He's did like $400 million to build a baseball stadium. Nowadays, it's $1 billion because there's entertainment districts and stuff. But so he said, this governor of Nevada, he's like, okay, here's $400 billion in taxpayer money. You guys work out the rest. John Fisher couldn't even do that. He's working with a government that wants them there, and he can't even get his funding sorted out because he's such an idiot. Because he doesn't know how to work with money because he inherited it all from his parents. Like, it's ridiculous and it's insane, and it shouldn't have happened. It shows Manfred has no spine. It shows Fisher's an idiot. And the Oakland A's have more history than 2/3 of baseball teams. So much as they have like 4 championships.
Isn't it like
They have
9?
they have
Is it 9? Or am I
well,
tripping?
that's if you include like the Philadelphia era.
Okay.
They've got like 4 or 5 championships. Like, they have Moneyball. Moneyball, it might just be the most popular baseball movie to exist. They
Probably
had
is.
prime Brad Pitt playing that role. Well, maybe not prime Brad Pitt, but high level Brad Pitt. Like it's ridiculous that it was allowed to happen by Manfred and the other owners. Just worried about their bottom line like usual. They don't care about the fans.
In Moneyball, just a quick question. Is Fisher the owner in that time?
No, it's Steve Schott.
Okay.
Moneyball is 2002. Not
Um,
when it was released, but that's when it takes place.
Yes, yeah.
John
I
Fisher
know.
bought the team in 2005.
Okay, I didn't know when Fisher bought the team. I thought, but yeah. And then I had another question about it, I feel like. Oh no, I had him.
Isn't that insane that movie, the time frame is 20 years ago, and we're talking about the same stuff? Like, at the end of the movie, when Brad Pitt's like, "Oh, I'm going to go to Boston," and the Boston owner's like, "Well, all due respect to the Coliseum, but Fenway's something else, isn't it?" The Coliseum was shit 20 years ago. They're still playing. They were still playing there until yesterday. Like, it's just insane that they couldn't get this going. Like, just ridiculous.
Manfred is
A fraud.
objectively the worst commissioner, I think, in the 4 major sports, in my opinion. Bettman's bad too, but I would say
I don't even think Batman's bad. I
Bettman's done a
started
pretty
doing
shit.
something.
Bettman's a pretty
He's done lots of shitty things.
He's done pretty bad in growing the game, I would say.
I don't know if I agree with that, but the thing with Bettman is I stopped looking at anything outside of his job description, which is make money for the owners. Everything Bettman does, I'm like, does it make money for the owners? And if it's yes, well, then I'm like, he's doing his
Yes.
job.
Mhm.
Same thing with Manfred, although Manfred's a fucking idiot. Like, Bettman, for all of his faults, was ready to die for the Arizona Coyotes. For all of his faults. And they had a shittier, maybe arguably a shittier arena situation than Oakland, with a shittier owner and a shittier franchise, and he did everything he could to keep them from moving. Rob Manfred didn't lift a finger to save the A's. Right? I think that's a good comparison to make.
I think Adam Silver is definitely the best, in my opinion.
And that's funny because his approval rating has declined the past 2 years, I think.
Probably, yeah.
And then it's like Goodell. Honestly, I think Goodell's third. I think Batman's better than Goodell. Because Goodell, with a gun to his head, wouldn't admit CT is linked to football.
Yeah. Just quickly, I guess, before we wrap this topic up, to the Oakland fans, if any actually listen to this, I doubt it, but
Millions.
this is not your fault. I feel awful. I couldn't even imagine a team like one of my teams relocating to a different city because of a shit
Let
owner.
alone 3.
Let alone 3. That's like terrible. It's awful. I couldn't even imagine. And like Oakland like the community, it's pretty dangerous like community, isn't it? To my
I don't know,
knowledge,
I've never been there, but
to my
only
knowledge,
from
it's
what
like
I've heard.
it's a lot of gangs and stuff.
It's California.
Yeah,
that's kind of what California is.
But like they really drew to their sports teams, and now they have none of them to draw to. And I don't know if they support the Raiders still.
No.
hold on. Breaking news.
Spit it out.
Karl Anthony Towns to the Knicks.
What the fuck?
Hold on. What?
According to Shams,
Yes.
breaking news on the Live for Sports podcast.
'Kay.
Why?
Whoa. Oh, the Nova Boys are breaking up.
Who?
The Nova Boys.
I don't know who that is.
We are getting. Oh, yeah. We're talking NBA right now. So here we go.
What are you talking about? I don't know what it.
So Shams tweets out breaking: the Minnesota Timberwolves are nearing a trade to send Karl Anthony Towns to the New York Knicks. Sources tell me, and John Krasinski, yeah.
John Krasinski is Jim Halpert.
Not that one.
Nathan, this is the stupidest move I've seen in my life.
They are sending a package of Julius Randle and Ante DiVincenzo to Minnesota. I'm sure there's more. I'm sure there's draft capital.
Minnesota? You just had the best season you've ever had, and you do that? What are you doing? Julius Randle isn't good.
There's got to be something. There's got to be some sort of hitch in this. Like,
oh my god! Now look, I realize Anthony Edwards is your franchise, and I realize you're paying a lot of money for Gobert, but Gobert's a fucking liability. My brain can't even process how stupid this is. Do you think Woj has just hacked his account as a one final fuck you to Shams? This must be what it is.
No, this is legit. This is happening.
Minnesota. This is so dumb. I can't even speak to this, Nathan. I don't even want to speak about this. This is ridiculous. Breaking news on the Live for Sports podcast.
Yeah, I want the full trade.
Nathan, there's no scenario. There is no scenario. No amount of draft picks that make Randall, DiVincenzo, and picks for Karl Anthony Towns good.
Well, did Karl Anthony Towns request out?
Did he?
I don't know. That could be
why. You just finished first in the West, or something like that.
There was like trade rumors for a while with Cap though.
No, you just had the best year of Minnesota. The Timberwolves are famous for being ass. They're ass every year essentially, except for the last like 5 years. And they bring in Gobert, and everyone says it was going to fail, and then it doesn't fail inexplicably, and now you trade him. This can't be happening. This can't be real. Whatever. I don't care enough about the Timberwolves to say this, but we got to get to Vince Carter because my mind is just.
What?
No, this cannot be a real trade. I mean, Minnesota fans have suffered enough. Their Twins just flamed out of the postseason. The Wild are never going to win anything. The Golden Gophers aren't very good at anything. Whatever.
We'll come back to this if the full trade package comes out. But you didn't hear it first because it's coming out tomorrow. But holy shit, this is the first time, like Joseph said, first time breaking news has dropped on the pod of this magnitude. And it was goddamn near perfect timing. We literally just wrapped with the athletics and baseball. We're moving on to the NBA. So there's that. Vince Carter is getting his jersey retired with the Toronto Raptors. I don't know about you. Like, I love Vince Carter and I love what he did for Toronto.
You weren't even alive, Nathan.
Yeah, but like he made the Raptors what the Raptors are today.
They'd still be around. There's this I'll let you speak in a minute. But there's this misconception that the Raptors would be gone if it wasn't for Vince Carter. They'd be like the Grizzlies. They'd still be there.
I'm not saying
they weren't abandoning that market.
I'm not saying they'd be gone. I'm just saying they'd
be the Pacers. They'd be irrelevant.
Yeah, they'd be even more relevant than they already were for years. Love what he did. I don't know. Like even when I didn't see him play, but like when he was old and played and still around, you could see how much Toronto loved him and stuff. And that being said,
at the end, they loved him.
That being said, he should not be the first Raptor with his jersey retired. It should be Kyle Lowry. I think you had to wait. You should have waited for Vince Carter.
I see that argument, and I get it. But Brooklyn forced their hand because Brooklyn or New Jersey was what it was when he played there. New Jersey Nets. They wanted to retire at first. The Raptors would look Bush League if they did it after the Nets, which is weird because he was a good net, but he wasn't anything spectacular. I'm kind of surprised he's getting retired there. But you want to hear the real quandary or the quagmire?
Yeah.
I'm almost thinking they shouldn't have retired it at all. Almost. That's not what I'm thinking. But I up until recently, probably till about 2019, I was team don't retire. Because people forget, me and Nathan were, well, I don't even know if Nathan was around. 2004, you were around, barely.
Barely
But
born.
the point is, the way he left the team, this wasn't one where he's like, "Hey guys, it's trade deadline. You think you guys can ship me out? You guys are pretty shit." No, he quit. He stopped playing. He was a 22, 23 point per game scorer. His last year, he scored 15 points per game. He stopped dunking. He whined constantly to the media. We all remember Game 7 versus Philly. He, for some unknown reason, decides, you know what? I'm going to go to my graduation. You are a professional basketball player. That was a horrible idea. Charles Oakley went on Tim and Sid a few years ago, and it was like, no question we would have won that game if Vince had stayed in Toronto and prepared like a normal person. Like, people forget how bad the breakup was. And then on top of that, how bad the trade was. Because they literally got nothing back for their best player ever. Now, I do think he should be retired. His jersey should be retired. Enough time has passed. If the Vancouver Grizzlies had a Vince Carter, maybe they'd still be around, but they didn't. So I don't know. I mean, it's good for them to do that. Yes, Lowry should have been first, but the way Brooklyn did it, the Raptors had to get ahead of it. So good for Vince. Good for the team. Nice celebration of a great player. He's going into the Hall of Fame, so it works. It just works for the timing. And now the question is, who's next? Probably Lowry.
100%
And that even
Lowry.
goes into like, who else on the Raptors would get their jersey retired? Like, I think it was Michael Grange was floating like, oh, Vince Carter's number 15 and Kyle Lowry's number 7 and DeMar DeRozan's number 10. And I was like, DeMar ain't getting his number retired. Is he? I hope not.
Hmm.
I mean, nothing against DeMar, but we were going over this the other week. He accomplished nothing in Toronto. And I realized Vince Carter didn't accomplish anything either, really, but he meant more to the team. I just don't think DeMar should have his retired. Maybe honored.
Oh, it's so tough. Like, I love jersey retirements and honoring those players, but I think you have to I think there's teams who do it too much. One team who I'm gonna say who I'm really liking on how they've done it, and then gonna go back to a different sport. I'm gonna go Columbus. Only Rick Nash so far. Rick Nash objectively deserves it. Yes, they have not had any good players really,
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like, who else?
but like, I think
Vinny
like even
Crosswell?
what?
Never mind.
I guess the Canucks with their 5 makes sense to some
Outside of Naslund, I wouldn't have retired Naslund.
or is it 6 with them? It's 6 with them, right? It
Well,
is.
Sedin, Bure, Naslund,
Smeal.
Linden, and like Smeal and Naslund, like, Otherwise, it's fine.
I think they toss around Ring of Honor too much. That's what I'll say for the Canucks.
Okay.
I love honoring guys, but like full on retired. I don't know. By the way, just quickly, Carl Anthony Towns, 16 minutes ago, tweeted out just ... So he knew it was happening before it broke.
Insane.
I'm just
Insanity.
I'm still trying to figure out the package.
Anyway, but with Vince Carter, yes, he deserves to be retired, but people should not forget how bad it was at the end with him. The way he quit. Because he quit.
Yeah, I think Vince should be retired. I just don't think it should be before Lowry, in my opinion, because I think Lowry, well, no, I don't think. I think everyone knows he is the greatest Raptor of all time. Maybe not the most skilled. That's probably Kawhi.
Definitely not the most skilled.
Yeah,
He's
but
fourth.
he is in skill.
Mm-hmm.
Kawhi, DeMar, Vince.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe Vince over DeMar. Maybe.
Well,
I
was just saying the 3. I wasn't going in order.
Yeah.
Lowry, greatest Raptor of all time, actually accomplished something, won a championship finally after all those years. He should be the first. He will be the first because he will sign it one day at the end of his career and retire with the Raptors and get his number retired. All those people probably like screaming for Kawhi. As much as I'd love Kawhi, no. 1 year does as much as statue of the shot.
Give me a statue.
1 year of a championship.
And then bolting literally the second he could.
Yeah.
Which you do you, Kawhi. We're chilling. We're square. Like, well, there's no animosity.
I love Kawhi, but
There would have been an animosity if he went to the Lakers, but
Yeah.
there isn't. So
we will hopefully wrap this up, assuming we don't hear any more. Oh, here we go. Package.
I told you, Nathan, I'm not showing you my package.
The Knicks have acquired Karl Anthony Towns from Minnesota for Julius Randle, Dante DiVincenzo, and a first-round pick via Detroit.
Okay, Detroit sucks, so that's gonna be a high for us.
I'm pretty sure it's got some sort of protection on it. I don't know what, but
That's a fucking horrible trade. Oh my
This-
God.
this makes
That's
sense.
terrible.
No, this makes
No.
sense to me. Yeah, it does.
No, Gobert's horrible. Unless there was something with Ant. Unless there was something where they were fighting and shit, and they had to choose, and you obviously choose Edwards. But if that's not the case, this is a horrible trade. Julius Randle isn't good anymore. Dante DiVincenzo is a supporting piece. I don't understand it whatsoever.
I don't understand with the trade necessarily, especially after the year, but the package isn't as bad, I think, as you think. Like, Cat's on a big contract, and Cat is probably not worth his big contract at the moment. He has not been good for like a couple
More
years.
worth it than Gobert.
At least Gobert fits next to Ant. I'll say that. He does. You need a center for Ant. You need some guy who's going to be able to block shots and be a presence in the paint. I don't know. It works, in my opinion. Anyways, that's the package. I'm assuming there's nothing else. That's from Shams. Derrick Rose retires, I believe, yesterday.
Yeah.
I wanted to say, I wish I got into basketball to experience Derrick Rose's prime more, because he has one of the most fun primes, I think, ever. And all
Yeah,
the
like
highlight
3 years.
packages. Well, no, what 09 to probably 13? Or was he injured then, or by then? 14, 15? He had a game winner in 15. But that Chicago era D Rose. I wish I got to experience that more, because that looks so fun. He looks so electrifying. Just all the highlights and stuff. And it's sad because everyone always says he's like, what if he never blew out his knee?
Yeah. I
Then-
mean, what was Tom Thibodeau doing? The game was over. The
that-
playoff game or whatever it was, where he really hurt his knee for the first time, and the game was over. And Tom Thibodeau, he leans on his guys hard, and he was never the same. D Rose. Now, he is not a Hall of Famer. No, Nathan. He
I
had
need to look
4
into it more. I need to
he
look
had
into
like
it more.
just off the top of my head, in my general recollections, he had like 4 great years, and for the last, I'd say, 11, he's been a bit piece. He's been a supporting player, and from 2016 onward, he's just been a scorer off the bench.
I would really need to look into it more before I can. I don't have that knowledge off the top of my head to say, okay, he can be a Hall of Famer. I'll try and pull up like Basketball Reference right now on him, but
I saw someone say like that all MVPs should automatically be in, and then I'm like, well, there's gonna be people from like the 1960s who have like fluke MVPs. So
Derrick Rose,
3-time All-Star. Career average points per game 17.4, 3.2 rebounds, 5.2 assists. Never a big shooter. So I'm looking here. Okay, so it was 2011 where he first started his ACL troubles. So he had where's points per game? So he had a 4-year prime. More like 3.5-year prime. Yeah, and then he dropped off a bit. So yeah, 3.5 years where he was great. And then he was no longer a superstar after the ACL injury. Because 15.9 points, 17.7, 16.4, and then traded to New York. Then once he was New York, it was a steep decline from there. Although he had some good years in Minnesota and Detroit, but he was
3-time
no
All-Star, 1-time All-NBA. I'm assuming first team, All Rookie Team, Rookie of the Year, MVP.
Yeah, when he was on,
probably
he
what's his career average?
17. 17.4, 3.2, 5.2. 45 from the
no, I
field,
don't-
31 from 3.
It's probably not a Hall of Famer then. He would have been if he had stayed healthy.
Oh, he totally would have been.
Yeah.
He was playing on jelly the last 10 years of his career. His legs were gone.
Mhm. What was that like buzzer beat 2015 season? That's that buzzer beater he had against the Cavs in the playoffs. That was so sick.
Yeah.
Just no emotion too. Just like cool. The game winner. Yeah, just one of the most insane highlight packages of any player in any sport, other than like Tavon Austin college highlights. Do you get?
Yeah. Or Connor McDavid.
Yeah, I guess.
Or Alish Hemsky for some reason. But yeah, you're right. Great player, cut short. Hall of very cool. He's in the Hall of cool
Yeah,
because
okay.
he was cold.
I don't think he's Hall of very good. I would say he's probably more Hall of good.
Hall of cool as fuck.
Hall of
Hall of swag.
Hall of
We should
highlight
make
reel.
like a Nathan and Joseph Hall of swag. People who just had swag.
Guys with Hall of aura.
Yeah, Hall of Aura.
But that will wrap up this episode. I believe we're closing in on like 2 hours. So
Basically, exactly.
yeah, so good timing actually, because we won't be able to edit this as much. But yeah, if you got this far, this is a fun episode. I actually enjoyed this one. We kind of had a lot to
Actually
cover.
enjoyed.
Well, no. Like we had a lot to cover, and I think we did a really good job of it. And it
Yeah.
was a lot of topics that I actually like really cared for and stuff, which sometimes
Yeah, some
not
fun
always the
topics
case.
for sure. Plus some breaking news.
Yes, breaking news for the first time. I was about to mention that. Karl Anthony Towns, you are now a New York Knick. That has been a rumor for a long time, but I can't believe that. I was just thinking the other day too. There's like normally every NBA season, there's like a trade right before the season starts. Like last year was like Lillard. I'm blanking on others, but like the past couple of years, there's been major trades right before, like training camps open or something. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
there's nothing this year, or there's like trade requests out there. Or something like that.
Durant. That happened like 4 times.
Well, just like right
Yeah.
before training camp, like people
Yeah.
holding out or some shit. But that hadn't happened this year. I'm like,
Harden.
yes, that's who I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, so that hadn't happened yet. I'm like, Ben Simmons being too.
And Simmons.
So that hadn't happened. And I was like, oh, we're getting through an off season with no drama. And then, oh, Karl Anthony Towns traded mid pod.
Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah, we got this far. Thanks for listening. We will see you in the next. We will be back to regular recorded episodes, I believe, Joseph. No?
We'll get into that.
Okay, yeah. Maybe not, but we'll figure it out. Hopefully back to Wednesday record. I don't know. We'll see. You got this far. Thanks for listening. See you in the next episode. Peace out.
Bye-bye.